Hello, friends. Coming to you from gorgeous springtime Vermont. My name is Karen. Welcome to Salt and Sand Studios yoga intermissions. It's 11 a.m. Eastern time. Do you know where your yoga is? It is right here. If you have something like a blanket to fold up or a block or a little cushion or a pillow, go ahead and place it so that you can allow the ankles to be on top of it as you cross your legs. You're taking a little bit of a reset. You can always put the soles of the feet together if that is more comfortable for you. A little reset of the pelvis. Thank you for checking in, folks. Hi. Glad sound and vid are all working. Today's focus is going with the flow, going with the flowing. We are often so hard on ourselves and we ignore that we're hard on ourselves inside our heads. And we don't treat ourselves gently. Why did that happen? Why did I do that? I'm an idiot. Why is my body not doing what I want it to do? So today, the offering is to really just go with the flow, to be gentle with ourselves and be supportive of ourselves and to celebrate what might seem like little wins or not wins at all, but are huge because we're making our way through this crazy life where suffering is just part of everything that we do and experience and feel. We allow that to happen to ourselves, and we can also move it away from ourselves, peeling back the layers of obfuscation of what the reality is, which is our energy connected to one another and our energy oriented toward happiness. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hands on my ankles, draw the belly in and up, and loosen the shoulders away from the ears. Eyes are more downcast and forward or closed. You might start to feel a little bit of opening in the hips. And if you're feeling energy trapped in the low back, you're going to go ahead and continue to draw the belly in and up and shift the pelvis, sort of tilt it forward and up. We're here for 50 minutes, allowing ourselves to listen to music if we would like or not, if that is suitable. Breathe in nice and full. Open the mouth, release it. Again, in nice and deep. This time a little pause at the top. Loosen the shoulders, draw the belly in, release it out the mouth. In breath, out breath. This time we pause at the bottom. Feel that little concaveness in the front of the body. Inhale. Pause, a little retention. Open the mouth. Return to a natural breath. That vocal release of breath is actually a little signal to the body to relax. The vagus nerve goes, bing, I hear ya, and starts to help the body relax, soften, rest, and digest. One at a time, bring the hands to your heart. Formulate an intention, or maybe just notice that you had a purpose for coming to your mat today. And let that resonate as if it's sort of singing inside your head. Let's take the opportunity to spread that intention, that motivation around us like a little foundation for our practice, or maybe a big foundation, depends on how much space you have to work in. We'll do that with a chant of Om. If you prefer not to chant, you can feel free to imagine the chant is rolling out on the breath out of the mouth as you breathe out. Long, full, complete breath in. I'm going to shift my way back onto my mat. I'll meet you there. If you want to come to my mat virtually, that would be magical. We're going to start with a bit of twisting. So soles of the feet are together. And then the left foot comes all the way onto the mat. So there's a little bit of space between the inner part of the left foot and the sole of the right. Right hand outside the left knee, and the left hand behind you, as close to your buttocks as you can get it. Then we're going to press the hand to the mat, drawing the shoulder away from the ears. Breathe in, get tall. Exhale for a twist over to the left. Inhale and exhale. Long breath in. Full breath out. Chin moves over the left shoulder. Drishti, your yogic gaze toward the left. Belly strong, draw back to center. Drop the left knee out once more. This time we'll take the thumbs inside the arches of the feet. Take a hold of the tops of the feet. Lift the spine nice and long. Gather the belly in. Press the tailbone forward. Peel the feet open like a book. Reach your heart forward so that the elbows are encouraging the hips to open. And then round the spine, scoop the belly, and drop the head. On a breath out, power up the belly to rise back up. We place the sole of the right foot onto the earth, a little space between it and the left foot. Right hand behind, sit up super tall, scoop the belly in, inhale. Breathe out for your twist. Return front and center. And again, we drop the right knee outward. We're going to take that same fold, if that feels okay for you, peeling the feet open like a book, belly in and up, heart forward, long spine to start as you open up the hips, pressing the elbows into the inner thighs. And then we scoop the belly in, imagining you're lifting the pelvic floor, rounding the spine and dropping the head. Rise back up to your seat. Hands outside your knees to help the knees come back up, and heel toe the feet so there's some space between them. Soles of both feet all the way on the earth, and if that starts to round the spine, use the palms on the kneecaps, fingers pointing down, to draw the belly in and up, lift the heart, and let the shoulders rest away from the ears. Hands draw behind you. Fingers point toward your bottom. Go ahead and scoot the right ankle above the left knee. Activate the right foot. We're going to stay here. You might use your hands to help things get where they need to be. We're drawing the belly in and up and pressing the heart toward the right shin while we move the right knee away and down. Now we're going to sneak the left foot over toward the right. So a little heel toe action. And then draw fully into a seat so we have stacked logs, shins as stacked as they might possibly be. I've got some space between my outer knee and the the side of the left foot. I'm going to place a block there. You can always stuff a blanket in that spot. And here we relax into the hips. As always, moving the belly in and up and the pelvic floor, the pelvic lock. Mula Bandha draws upward. Maybe wrists or arms on the thigh and the foot. Maybe a mudra. If you have a prop, remove it. And extend the right leg outside the mat. You might feel like scooting the left foot a little closer to the right thigh. We sit up nice and tall. We're going to take a look over the left knee, draw the belly in and up, sweep the left arm high. Start to feel the whole torso from the tops of the hip bones all the way upward, lifting. Lift the heart, and as you exhale, a tilt over toward the right. Rise back up and plant the left hand behind your left glutes. You're going to shift onto the left shin and reach the right leg nice and long. Float the right arm high, a rock star. You didn't know you were a rock star, did you? Lift your hips forward and up. Spread the fingers like they're twinkling toward the stars. The right arm sweeps down toward the left, and as it comes down to the earth, the sitting bones return to the earth. We'll move into a Janu Shirshasana, shifting the right leg straight out of the hip. Maybe a little prop or a big prop underneath your right knee, because we're still early minutes in our practice. Sitting up nice and tall, right toes toward your hip. A fold over your leg. My back is just beginning to get a little more open, a little more lubricated. Inhale, rise to your seat, removing any props. Soles of the feet draw together. This time we're going to bring the hands behind the body. Once again, fingers point toward you. Shift the pelvis forward, but also lift the torso. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and shift the heart up toward the sun. It's as if spring has sprung all the way from your sitting bones up through the heart, maybe encouraging the chin to lift as your heart greets the beauty of the sky. Shoulders stack over hips, hands outside the knees, lift the knees, make some space between the feet. Sit up nice and tall. Pelvis forward, belly in. Left knee lifts so you can cross the left ankle above the right knee. Maybe the hands come back behind you. Shifting the heart toward the shin and the left knee away from you. You might notice, as I have, one hip is more open than the other. My right hip is a little more open than this left hip. Shoulders melt downward. Heel toe the right foot over toward the left. And then we come on to the outside of the right calf, shifting the left shin right on top of the right. Stacked logs. Once again, I need a little prop. Actually, more of a prop on this side. Could stuff your blanket in there. We sit up nice and tall. Maybe find a mudra with our hands. Remove the block or blanket if you have one, and stretch the left leg long outside your mat. Right heel might sneak a little closer to you. We face the right knee, right arm reaches high. Before we take our tilt, we get really, really long, opening all the way from the sitting bones to that right pinky finger, and the left sitting bone to the left ear. Breathe in, open the heart. Exhale to tilt over to the left. We rise up nice and tall. Plant the right hand outside the right thigh. Shift onto that right shin and sweep the left arm high. We're pressing the left foot into the earth and lifting the hips away from the ground. The shin is like a little kickstand. So you're opening the heart, twinkling the fingers. Left arm sweeps down toward the right, across the front of your body. Sit back down. Shift the left leg. Extend it long on your mat, adjusting your hips if you need to be parallel to the front of your mat. Maybe a prop under your left knee. It can also feel good for the sole of the right foot to find a little connection with. We sit up super tall and fold over the left leg. Belly strong, rise back to your seat. We'll find our way into a child's pose. That's a flow I like going with. Making your way gently, kindly, not worrying about how graceful you might be or might not be. Not concerned about whether the head makes it to the earth, and if it does not, you'll place something under your chest or your chest and your head. Peel back the layers of energy coming all the way into the breath. Noticing any discussion going on in your head. We control our response to that. Maybe the discussion has to happen, but perhaps we choose to not get caught up in it. Take a peek toward your fingertips. Spread the hands about shoulders distance. Draw into a long tabletop and shift your knees so they're directly underneath your hips. Tuck your toes under. And as we shift the sitting bones back toward the heels, we lift the knees just a couple of inches off the mat. Nice long spine. You're looking between your thumbs or between your knees. Check that the feet are hips width distance. Mine were a little close together. Take a big breath in. Exhale, shift the hips high, downward facing dog. Maybe you pedal into your dog. It's finding some movement that feels good for your body as you draw the belly in. Send the chest energy toward the thighs. In your drishti, your yogic gaze, between the calves or the knees, or maybe up toward the navel. Rise up to the tiptoes. Stay on your tiptoes as long as you can and walk the hands back toward the feet. Eventually, the heels will draw downward, coming into our forward fold, Uttanasana. Knees could be super bent. Head is nice and heavy. Ragdoll if you like. Nod the head. Shake the head. Release the hands to the earth. Slowly unravel all the way to standing. If you do this breathing out, it can protect your low back. We meet in mountain pose, Tadasana, hands by the sides. I have warmed up, so I'll remove a layer. Feel the energy, the springness of the earth rising upward so that it lifts the arches of the feet. And then this strength, this power moves up the inseams to the hips. Pelvis presses forward as the energy draws upward from the hips, stacking the shoulders over the hips, and the neck gets long. Keeping the palms facing as they are, which is forward. You're going to inhale and bring the arms parallel to the earth, palms face up. Block the arms back into your shoulders. Inhale the arms wide. Reach from between the rib cage, between the shoulder blades, and all the way along the arms as if your fingertips could touch the sides of your space. Really slowly, we're going to rotate the shoulders so the palms face down or backward. Start to feel how the shoulders rotate. Thumbs point down. We take the opposite, spinning the shoulders so the palms face up. Thumbs away from you. And again, rotate, palms face down or back so the thumbs are pointing down. One more rotation, palms face up, sweep the arms high overhead, press the palms together there. Take a look upward toward your thumbs. Shift your hips forward a couple of inches and see if you can get long on all sides of the torso, lifting from the bony hip points. Bend the elbows, bring the fingers to the nape of the neck or between the shoulder blades. Press the head back into the forearms. Cactus arms. One at a time, the hands come behind you. Maybe the fingers intertwine or they hook together. And if you like, if it feels good, before we do the thing you might like or that might feel good, you're going to open up the collarbones, tilt the pelvis forward, power up the thighs, start to squeeze the shoulder blades together so the elbows are working as if they could touch one another behind you. Then, if you like, you can extend the arms, unbending your elbows so that we're not just using the arms to draw momentum, but we're using the belly and the heart and the collarbones and the shoulder blades. Sit into a modified chair pose, finding bound chair, Utkatasana. You don't have to come super deep. If the knees are spreading really wide, you're going to spin the thighs as if they're moving toward each other, but the knees don't touch. Rise up to the balls of the feet. Find your balance. Sink a little deeper. Keep the pelvic block lifted and the navel moving in and out. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. They say wait until it shakes. I got one leg shaking. Maybe sit a little deeper. Keep the belly strong. Heels down, fold over your legs. Maybe your intertwined fingers and hands can float a little or a lot from your spine. Exhale, hands release to the earth. Inhale. Exhale, lift halfway up. Inhale. Exhale, release to the earth. Breathe in. Exhale, roll all the way to standing, arms lift high. Samastihi, hands to your heart. Shift a little weight into the left foot, come to the right toes. Loosen the shoulders. Bring the right heel to the mat. Shift the left toes. Bring the left heel to the mat. Shift onto the right toes. Power up the belly, the right quad, and shift that right knee upward. Take the right hand, place it on the right thigh. See if you can create some isometric pressure from the hand to the thigh and the thigh to the hand. Extend the right leg in front of you and step forward one step, lifting onto the toes of the left foot. Lift the left knee toward your chest. Move the left knee out to the left. Move the left knee forward. Keeping the knee bent, bring the thighs to be parallel. Pressing back with the left foot and activating the left hamstrings. Drop the foot to the earth. Rock around a little on your feet. And come back to stillness. Hands drop by your sides. Sweep your arms high. Exhale, cactus arms. Eagle arms, right elbow underneath the left. If that's too much for you, feel free just to hug yourself. Elbows lift shoulder height or higher, hands float from the face. We're keeping the tailbone pointing downward and the thighs are strong, but we're not locking the knees. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Round into the belly, draw the elbows toward the navel, drop your head. So we're finding a rounded spine. As you slowly unravel, press tall, lift the arms high. Exhale, hands to your heart. We shift the weight into the right foot to come to the left toes. We gather the belly and the pelvic lock in. Activate the left quads and glutes and lift the left foot off the earth. Left hand onto the thigh, isometric pressure. Extend the leg in front. Step forward onto the left foot, coming to the right toes. Hands can come to your heart, right knee lifts up. Right knee moves out to the right. Right knee comes forward. Keeping the knee bent, but bringing the thighs parallel. Right knee meets left knee. And the foot returns to the earth. Arms lift high. Cactus arms. Eagle arms, this time opposite, left elbow under right. I almost forgot. Had to experience it to know it. Elbows lift shoulder height or higher. Draw the bony hip points upward and the lowest ribs on the front body downward. Lift the elbows a little bit more. Come into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, rise up, standing. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. A halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, hands plant, left foot glides to the back of the mat, runner's lunge. Take your time. Fingertips on the earth or props. Right knee over right heel. Back leg powered up. Hover over your right leg, hands by your sides. Staying in your hover, you're like this amazing statue at the bow of a ship. Belly working, especially the right glutes and the right hammies working. Don't forget to use that back leg. Arms sweep forward, biceps by your ears. Arms sweep backwards, palms face down. They're a little higher than your hips. Really reach, open up the heart. Keep the belly strong. Arms sweep forward. Arms sweep back. Arms sweep forward. Crescent warrior. Keep those left glutes really powered up to protect the low back. Hands to your heart. And a twist. Left arm forward, right arm behind. Slowly lower the back knee to the earth and untuck your toes. Twisty Anjaneyasana. Inhale, arms lift high, face forward. Exhale, sink deeper into your front hip crease. Left glutes are working for you to protect that low back still. Half split, hands around your front foot. Front leg lengthens. Left hip over the left knee. And the right toes float off the earth. Again, we don't worry how close we get the head or the heart to the leg. Aim for a long spine. And if there's any voices sneaking into your head or onto your shoulder, why don't you just say, hey? You don't have to hook on to whatever it is they're saying to you. And even if that saying is not negative, you might consider its origin. So the voice might be saying, oh, your hamstrings are so tight. They might be saying, ooh, I'm the most flexible person in the world. Here, yoga teaches us to find balance, the middle way, which is what is the benefit of this posture? And am I getting the most benefit from it in this moment? Sole of the right foot comes back to the mat. Hands shift forward, tuck your back toes under, return to a runner's lunge. You might need to adjust your feet. Take a big breath in. Exhale, extend your front leg, fold over. Really press into the heel of the front foot, drop your head. And perhaps you peel the ball of the right foot off the earth for a moment or two and bring it back down, finding pyramid pose by shortening your stance, pointing the left toes toward the left, upper left corner of your mat. Right thumb, we're going to find a little handy dandy hack here by placing the right thumb inside the right hip crease, then using the palm and the fingers to spin the right thigh open to the right. That allows you to push into the ball of the front foot to bring the right hip behind. Drop your head. Right hand meets the mat, left foot steps up. We come back to a chair pose, maybe this time big toes touch if your knees are not wonky. If your knees are wonky, you're going to keep the knees apart. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Lift up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Half lift, breath out, helps the low back. Forward fold, runner's lunge, right foot back. You have a better sense now for where this is going. So you'll situate your stance to be suitable for balance. We don't forget, even in the runner's lunge, the belly energy is moving away from the thigh. We have our foundation. Hover over your left thigh, hands by your sides. Arms sweep forward, biceps by the ears. Keep using that back leg. Hands sweep back above the hips, palms face down. Arms sweep forward. Arms sweep back. Squeeze the shoulder blades, arms sweep forward. Lift up, crescent warrior. Hands to your heart and a twist. Right arm forward, left arm behind. Slowly lower right knee to the earth. Untuck your toes. Shoulders over the hips, fingers reaching for whatever coolness you might imagine at the front and back of the mat. Belly strong. Torso forward, arms sweep up. Sink deeper into your front hip crease. Half split, hands around your front foot. Lengthen that leg or scoot the right knee back, whichever works best for you. The left toes peel away from the earth. Hands wherever it suits you to let the collarbones be wide and the belly energy to move in and up. Left foot plants to the earth. Hands move forward, back toes tuck, runner's lunge. Extend your front leg, fold over it. Once you're there, lift the ball of the left foot from the earth, peel the toes toward your torso, and imagine that you're dragging the mat backward with your left heel. Slowly place the left foot on the ground and find pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Situating your stance. Foundation is the most important thing. Loosen the head. Left thumb, this is our hack, comes right in the left hip crease. You widen the fingers around the left thigh and spin it toward the left. Press the thumb in and send the left sitting bone behind you. Let your head drop. Right foot steps up to meet the left. Rise all the way to standing. Let the arms sweep high. Our only vinyasa of the practice. Exhale, forward fold, sunset. Halfway lift. Forward fold, a step or a float for your high plank. Maybe pausing in the high plank. Feeling its power. Perhaps the knees drop for chaturanga, low plank. Elbows like bookends on your ribs. A back bend. Downward dog. Rise to the tiptoes, press the chest toward the thighs. Peel forward into your plank. Drop the left shin down. Untuck your toes. Shift the right heel toward the left onto the ground and float the right arm high. Modified side plank. You're welcome to take it in full force with both feet, both heels off the ground. Drop the right knee to meet the left and thread the right arm behind the left wrist. We're coming into a tabletop twist. Left hand can sneak forward, come to the right palm, or reach behind your back for a bind. Left hand plants under the left shoulder. Unravel from this little twisty pretzel and bring the right hand back down. Return to the toes tucked underneath. Hands move forward 2 inches, downward dog. Rise to the tiptoes, press the chest toward their thighs to start. And then peel forward to your high plank. Drop the right knee down, untuck the toes. Heel of the left foot meets the mat. Press the outer edge of the left foot into the earth and float the left arm high, side plank. Belly working for you. Left knee taps down to the mat. Thread the needle, left arm behind the right wrist. Coming into your tabletop twist on the other side. We unravel from this, right hand under the shoulder, left arm high. And come back to tabletop. Moving into a forearm tabletop, the elbows underneath the shoulders. We'll make our way into some cat-cow shapes, working whichever shape you feel the body is benefiting most from. Spend a little more time in it. We haven't done a ton of back bending, so it might feel good to stay in the cow shape. Or if you're having lower back issues, maybe it feels better to stay in the cat shape. Or maybe you alternate between them, using the strong belly to help you out and the breath. Return to a neutral spine. Walk the hands backward. Bring the knees together. The feet wider than your hips, and sit back. If you need something rolled up underneath the backs of your knees or at the backs of your knees, go ahead and take that. I'm going to place a block under my sitting bones. You might place a blanket there as well. Finding a little bit of a quad stretch while we move into a back bend. Anyone who has a full hero's pose is welcome to take that here if you can do so safely. My L4 and L5 don't allow for that. I also have pretty tight quads. Now, my nasty voice in my head could have said, I have really tight quads and it sucks. Or the really happy voice in my head could say, I have the greatest hero back bend. Somewhere in between is the response that we're practicing to lead to, so that we're not hooked into all of this goodness that we just desire, or all of the nastiness that makes us feel bad. So from here, heels of the hands could come to the arches of the feet with the fingers facing the same way as the toes, or you could bring fists to the arches of the feet, or maybe just the fingers reach behind the toes. Here we're going to find sort of like a plank front body to start with. Just leaning back to open up the quads. But we're going to shift the pelvis forward to gather the belly in as well and protect the low back. If you have more to work with, you can start to lengthen the front body from the top of the pelvis to the breastbone and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe that's enough for you. Or maybe you shift the pelvis forward a little bit more, which is going to give you even more protection of your low back and open up the quads and the psoas more. Then maybe the heart lifts, and the head drops back, revealing the most beautiful chakra, the wheel of energy at the center throat that is all oriented toward communication and purification. And breathe. If it feels right, you might shift the pelvis forward so much that the sitting bones lift off the earth or your prop. Slowly draw the belly in, bring the sitting bones down, stack the shoulders over the hips. We're going to find our way to a child's pose to open up the low back. Knees can be together or wide, your choice. If they are together, perhaps you consider bringing the top of the head to the earth as close to your knees as you can get it, and the arms sweep around so the hands connect with your feet. But the shoulders get super heavy. And imagine the breath makes this really cool shape coming from the crown of the head all the way to the tailbone. And then left hip to right hip or right to left. And you find yourself focusing on the intersection, the low spine. Rise back up, make your way back to a seat. I'm going to revisit some of what we did at the beginning, but slightly deeper if it works for your body. So this time, for our twist, we'll bring the soles of the feet to the earth, cross the right ankle above the left, Activate the right foot. Bring the right hand behind us, and maybe the left hand on the knee as we take a twist over to the right. Maybe the left elbow can reach outside the left thigh, the right thigh. We draw back to center, heel toe the left foot over to the right, and restack the logs. Oh yeah, I can definitely tell the difference, although there's still opening taking place, a little less space between the thigh and the ankle. Removing any block. We're going to unwind from this and take it to the other side. Left ankle crosses above the right knee. Right hand behind. And a twist over to the left. Left hand behind. Twist over to the left. Front and center, right foot heel toes over to the left. Stack the logs. Removing any props that you might have. We're now going to shift forward. Actually, take the right foot and bring the right heel a little closer to the left sitting bone, and then move it out to the left a little bit more. So it's maybe a little outside the left thigh. We're going to shift forward onto that shin and onto our fingertips. Working to stack the knees as much as possible and bring the feet parallel. We're going to shift back onto our sitting bones for Gomukhasana. Toes point in toward each other. I don't quite have as much stretchy, and that is okay. We sit up nice and tall, or if you've got more space to work with, you can take your Gomukhasana arms, which is the bind behind your back, or you can find a fold over your legs. The fullest expression of the posture is with the bind and the chin forward of the top knee. Inhale, rise up. Because today I'm celebrating spring and also my partner's milestone birthday, we're going to do our party move. So take both hands, place them outside your right hip and thigh. So the right leg should be on the bottom. We're going to spin the butt toward the front of the mat. Feet stay planted where they are. So now you're in a forward fold facing the back of your mat. Keep walking over toward the right foot, spinning back down, finding your Gomukhasana legs. Not quite as smooth as I had envisioned, but fun nonetheless. I'm going to sit up nice and tall and exhale, find a fold if you're finding your fold. Rise up to your seat, hands come behind you, unwind your legs for staff pose. Legs are extended onto the earth. Finger tops, right by your hips. You're pressing the floor away with the heels, the calves, the backs of the thighs, the glutes, and the fingertops. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha at work for you. So lift the pelvic floor, pelvic lock, and lift and draw the navel in toward the spine. Your upward flying lock. Arms float in front. They lock back into your shoulders. Rounded spine or straight spine, whatever feels right for you. You're going to come all the way down to the mat. Knees gather in toward the armpits. And we cross the ankles. Doesn't matter which way, because we're going to do both. The hands take a hold of the outer edges of the feet. And you draw your feet in toward your chest. And find a little rock left and right. And then crisscross the ankles the other way. So it's sort of like a little return trip. Feet draw in. You're pressing the toes toward the knees and the heels toward the torso. Extend the legs toward the sky. Stack the hands underneath your low back. Legs can be straight or a little bent or a lot of bent. And let the shoulder blades kiss the earth. You might need to shift around for that to happen. Heels reach toward the sky. Chin tucks toward the chest. The legs heavy in the hip sockets. And the belly starts to soften. You're welcome to take your time bringing the legs to the earth, or maybe you bend your knees and drop the feet one by one to extend your way into your final resting posture, or Shavasana. If possible, palms upward facing, legs extended. You can always place something under your knees and or over your torso or thighs and or under your neck. Space between the feet splay outward. Big, huge, gigantic breath in. Let it go. The posture that gives us the opportunity to continue peeling back the layers, acknowledging the practice and integrating the practice across all the 8 limbs of yoga. Because we are human, stuff often pops up into our minds. In yoga, we consider the heart mind a place of compassion. And when the lists start, or the accusations start, or control starts, or whatever it is that starts in your head, you can extend the mind to the heart and let the heart gently coax you to a middle ground. The voices are okay, that we don't need to listen to them. Big, huge breath in. Let it go. One at a time, draw the knees to the heart and roll on to one side. Return here to your intention or motivation, and then consider someone, some being, or maybe a group of beings who might benefit from the tools of learning how not to react to the voices in their heads. And picture that being or those beings in front of you as you press yourself back to a seat. Where we'll close our practice as we began to the chant of Om. Palms draw together at the heart. Exhale all the air from your lungs. Long breath in. Om. complete our practice by connecting the thumbs to the center forehead. You find the gentleness in yourself to live your day with joy. Namaste. Cheers to each of you individually and as a part of the community for practicing today. It's a wonderful tool that we have. Your yoga is right here and right here. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of your day or evening. Be sure to watch recordings that you like. Maybe not just watch, but practice with them. And donate if you can. And please, please, please share that this is available to all. Thank you. Have a great one.